What George talks about is stress. People fail to realize is that they harbor what we call unseen stress. And so when people sit there in workshops and audiences and say things like, I have an autoimmune disease, I have multiple sclerosis, I have, muscular dystrophy. If you have the gene for muscular dystrophy or for Huntington's, you will activate that gene. You will end up with that disease. That is a certain. It's going to happen to you. All of the other conditions that those people sat there and talked about this morning, and, they say things like, I can't look at my past. I can't look at my childhood. It's too stressful what happened to me back there. And they think they get away with it. They don't get away with it. Their body will always pay the price. Their body will always, as Gabor Mate says, the body will always keep the score. So they walk up to us and they say things like, sick and I'm ill, I got this condition, I got that condition, I got the other condition. And then I think one of the biggest aha moments is when they say things like, I see that this will help me deal with that condition. I see it's helped other people deal with that condition. It won't work for me. And we hear that excuse so many times that it won't work for me. And the difficult thing from my perspective is showing them that it doesn't matter. You're just a human machine, a biological machine like everybody else. And if it worked for some people, it will work for you. The big aha moment is when that guy came back that you were sitting with me there, Fergus, and he came back in and he waited until everybody had left. And he said that when we were talking about childhood trauma, he didn't see that he had any childhood trauma. But he sat there listening to somebody else talk about their childhood trauma and then realized out of the blue, oh my God, my dad traumatized me when I was 14 years of age. And he didn't realize he was traumatized. And that guy is about 40 now, can't find a relationship because he keeps repeating the trauma of his dad, how the trauma and his dad inflicted trauma on him. And he keeps doing it in relationships. So he gets into a relationship and he traumatizes the person in the relationship. And then she leaves him and he gets another relationship and traumatizes her. And never realized where the ability for him to be a traumatic person to other people was coming from. And it came from his dad. So what is the liberating thing that happens when we do this work and we talk to people is that as they sit and they unwind themselves for a moment, they start to reveal to themselves the trauma that they thought they were suppressing and they thought they were escaping from the consequence of the trauma, and they don't. So if the body then pays the price, and the price is revealed in their pathology, where they go to their doctor. The doctor says, geez, man, you don't know where you got this autoimmune disease from, but you've got an autoimmune disease. Or, for example, people who suffer from multiple sclerosis, and there's no gene in the family. And then these are the people that tell me, I don't have any trauma that I'm suppressing. My childhood was all good, it's all clear. But they've got MS. There is no way. It is impossible for their childhood to be clear and all good and all happy and all supportive. It's not if they have MS. MS is a clear, defined indication that the person grew up unable to express themselves and having to express themselves in a way with expectation behind it. And the expectation is this: I must be a good girl or I must be a good boy for my mom and dad. And that becomes a significant stressor. So they say to me, there was no stress in my childhood. Everything was happy. Mum was happy. Dad was happy. There was no beatings. There was no hurt. There was no abuse. There was nothing. But when we ask the question of who did you have to keep happy? And they say, oh my God, I had to keep my mum happy. How did you keep her happy? I had to dress well. Okay, what else do you have to do? I had to appear to be good for the Joneses. I couldn't talk about my pain and my anxiety and my stress and my difficulty of going to school. Everything had to be good. Everything had to be great. Everything had to be happy. Everything had to be awesome. And that to a child growing up, highly, highly traumatic and highly stressful. So there's no mistake in any of their diseases and no mistake in any of their conditions.